In this video, you will see how to create an interior elevation from an existing elevation marker. You'll see how to edit its view properties and adjust its crop region. And you will also see how to add notes, tags and dimensions to the elevation. I have the exercise file Interior Elevation open, and we're looking at a 3D view of the building that we need to create the interior elevation for. Looking at the project browser, I can see that we have a group for interior elevation views, and we also have a bathroom elevation 1 view that's already been created. So I'll open this view, and we can see that this is a completed elevation of one of the bathroom walls. To help us understand the location of this bathroom within the building, I'll go back to the project browser and right click on the bathroom elevation 1 view, and from the menu here we can click Find Referring Views. Now in the Go to View settings we can see we have the second floor plan view selected, so I'll click Open View. And now we can see we have the second floor plan view open, and if we zoom in here we can see the elevation marker and bathroom elevation 1 is selected, showing us the right hand wall of the bathroom. Now we need to create an elevation showing the bottom wall of the bathroom here with the sink, toilet and bath. And if I select the elevation marker here, we can see that we have the option to enable the arrows for the other directions. And we'll select the option here, so we'll show arrow at the bottom of the view towards the bottom wall here. And we can see now that that's created elevation 1B in the project browser, so let's right click and choose rename. And we'll name this bathroom elevation 2. So now that we have that renamed, let's open up that view. And we can see here that we have that bathroom elevation, but it doesn't cover the entire bathroom actually. We can see the sink is missing. So I'll swap back to the second floor plan and then select the pointer for this elevation view. And we can see the cut plane here, it stretches across to the wall by the bath, but it stops short on the other side. If we zoom out a little, we can see that it lines up with the external wall that's a bit further on in the building. So let's use the drag controls on the cut plane here, and we'll drag that to the wall on the left here. And now we'll swap back to the bathroom elevation view. And we can see now that that's covering the entire of the back wall, and it has the sink and the mirror as we need it to. So whilst we have the crop region selected, we also want to adjust the height of the view. So we'll use the drag control at the bottom here to just drag this closer to the floor. And then looking at the top, we have a shadow across here, so we'll use the top drag control just to reduce it down and to clear that shadow. So now that we have that view set up, we're ready to add some notes and tags to the view. And we'll start by tagging the objects that we have in the view, so the mirror, sink, toilet and bath. So if we select these, so I'll click on the mirror, and then holding down the control key we can pick the other objects. And now we'll go to the Annotate Ribbon tab, and from the Tag panel here we'll click on the Tag All Not Tagged tool. And in here we can see we have a list of categories that we have tags available for. And we'll select the multi-category tags, and we can see that that's going to use the object description tag family. So looking above, we can see it's set to tag only selected objects in the current view. So we'll click OK, and we can see now that those tags have been applied to the objects that we had selected. Now we want to reposition some of these tags, so I'll select the tag by the WC here, and then using its drag control we can just drag this up into a better location. And now the one for the sink here, we can see that's slightly off center, so we'll select it and drag it to above the sink just in the middle here. So now that we have those tags placed, we're ready to add some text notes onto the view to indicate the finishes. So we'll go to the Annotate Ribbon tab, and from the text panel we'll click on the text tool. Now looking at type selector, we can see that we have the 3/32 of an inch Arial type selected. And looking at the place text ribbon here, we can see it's currently set to no leader, and we have options for 1 segment, 2 segment and curved leaders. We'll pick the 1 segment leader. And now we'll click by the walls here for the end of the leader, and then we can draw this away to the left hand side and then click to start placing the text. And this note will read white painted gypsum partition wall. And then I'll click close to finish editing the text. We can see that note's a little bit long, so I'll use the drag control here to shorten it over 2 lines. And now that's placed, I'll click modify to finish the text tool. And then we'll select the note that we've just placed. And now the leader is at an angle, so we'll go to the modify text notes ribbon here. And we'll click to move the leader so that it appears from the top of the note. We'll also click to add another leader to the right hand side here. And now we can just adjust the drag controls here so that we point to both of the walls and tidy up the leader. So now that we have that note placed, we'll copy it down for the other materials in the view. So with it still selected, we'll go to the modify ribbon tab and we'll click on the copy tool. Looking at the options bar, we can see we have the multiple options selected, so we'll click a start point and then we can place the first note below this one and then a second copy down for the tiles at the bottom. So now we'll click modify to finish the copy tool. And we're ready to edit these notes. So we'll pick on the second one here and then we can click to edit the text here. And we'll change this text to read 12 inch by 4 inch porcelain edge tiles in aquamarine. Then we'll click to finish editing that text. And we'll just use the drag control here to stretch it over 2 lines. So we'll drag it a little bit longer. And now we'll use the drag controls on the leaders here so that it points down to those edge tiles as we need it to. So now we have that one done, we'll select the note at the bottom here. And again we'll edit the text. And we'll replace this with 6 inch ceramic tiles in white. Once we have that done, we'll now adjust the leader so that the second arrow points at the tiles as well. Now looking a little bit closer, I can see that the tiles aren't perfectly aligned in the view. So we'll go to the modify ribbon tab, and from the modify panel here we'll click on the align tool. And first I'll select the underside of the edge tiles for the reference, and then one of the horizontal lines to align to that. Then looking at the thin line of tiles at the bottom here, they need to be aligned vertically, so we'll click on one of the vertical lines here and then we'll grab a vertical line in those edge tiles to align those. So now that we have those aligned, we'll click modify to finish that tool and we're ready to place some dimensions in the view. So we'll go to the annotate ribbon tab, and from the dimensions panel we'll click the align dimensions tool. And looking at the options bar, we'll change the selection preference to wall faces instead of wall center lines. So now we can pick the edge of the wall just here, and then we'll pick the wall on the left, and then the one on the far right here. And then we can just move these dimensions up and click to place them in the view. Now we need to position the sink, so let's click the center of the sink here, and then we'll get the wall on the right hand side. We'll also include the center of the WC too. And then we can place these dimensions below the view. Next, we'll click on the top of the sink, and then we'll also click on the floor, and then we'll place this dimension outside the view on the right here. And then finally, we'll click the floor, and then get the top of the tiles, and we'll include the middle of the mirror here, and place these dimensions on the outside of the view too. So we'll click modify to finish placing the dimensions. Actually, just looking at that dimension for the oval mirror here, we can see that the mirror is actually too high. So I'll pick on the mirror, and now we can see that the actual dimension is available for us to edit. So we'll click to edit that, and we'll change its value to be 2 foot 4 inches. And then when we finish that, we can see that the mirror moves down into its correct location, and that completes creating our interior elevation view.